has seen any of my previous 4 videos. But for anyone who hasn't, my name's Josie. I'm from Naturally Fueled. It's a website with type 1 diabetes hacks and gluten-free travel and recommendations and things like that. Today I wanted to talk about the Freestyle Libre again. I think it was my first very poor quality, not that these are any much better, but very poor quality video about the Freestyle Libre. I gave a review after using it for about 3 to 4 months, which I thought was a significant amount of time to be able to give like a valid review. But after 7 months of using the Freestyle Libre, I can confirm that I will never be using it again, which is very melodramatic, but it just did not work out for me. And I decided to record this video because all I've seen are raving reviews about the Freestyle Libre. So it made me think that I was being ungrateful almost, and that I should keep using it because it's such an advance in technology and so many people don't get to have it. So I was making myself use it, and it was really not working well for me at all. It made having diabetes a struggle for me, which, you know, it never usually really is. So I have happily returned to finger pricking, and these are my reasons why. Firstly is the inaccuracy. I get that continuous glucose monitors can have a bit of a delay in their reading. For example, it might take a while for the sensor to register that your sugar level has gone down a little bit, which is fine by me, that's absolutely fine. But with the Freestyle Libre, it was inaccurate about 40% of the time, which in my opinion is not good enough whatsoever. This is just before I was going to the gym one morning. It gave me that reading when in reality my reading was a few points lower. With a reading that's 10 over, I would always take a little bit of correction insulin to get it back down into a healthy range. But with a reading that's like 8, especially if I'm about to go to the gym, I wouldn't, because, you know, the cardio might bring it down a little bit. If I hadn't double checked and I hadn't doubted the Freestyle Libre's reading, then I would have had such a bad low in the gym. And it's actually happened where 2 of the worst hypos that I've had in years have been because of this little devil. It just kept telling me that my sugar levels were like 11 or 12. I take correction insulin, and then after an hour, when the insulin is just about to kick in, I would check it again and it would say, oh, you're reading 6. And now I have 2 units of insulin about to go on board, and I just have to shovel those Skittles in my mouth. It's really annoying, really, really annoying. So that is one of the main reasons why, is the inaccuracy. Like, it's so important to be able to trust your glucose monitor's reading. And if you have to double check with pricking your finger, or if you're just living in fear that it's not actually the right reading, then what is the point of it? The second reason is actually kind of like a mental health one. It's just the overwhelming amount of data that the Freestyle Libre gives you. And this is where a lot of people I know are going to probably disagree, because a lot of people think it's so amazing to have these continuous graphs of what your sugar level is all day and all night. And for me, I just don't want to know that. Okay, I know I am a type 1 diabetic, yes, and I look after myself, definitely. But at the end of the day, I'm 21 years old, and I want to be able to live my life without worrying if my sugar levels are going to go up 2 little units after I eat a sandwich, or that line isn't going to be completely straight all day. At the end of the day, my pancreas doesn't work. I do it myself. So it's very, very difficult. Yes, it's probably possible to get that straight line all day, but I like to go out and I like to eat sandwiches. I like to drink. I could go to the gym and do some weights, and then it might go a little bit higher. It's tough to live the life that I live, like as a young girl, and be constantly have a straight line in that green area. At the majority of the time I am in the green area that it gives, but my line is just a little bit up and down, which I'm perfectly happy with when I don't see it in front of me. When I'm given these graphs and this overwhelming data, I allow it to take over my whole life and all of my thoughts, and I never really want that to happen. The third is actually just because of the application alone. I hate applying it. And I'm so fine with needles, obviously. I'm so fine with needles. And I'm fine with getting my bloods taken, but I just don't know what it is. Like that clamp, you kind of clamp it down into your arm and you have to really kind of forcefully do it. And I also have had negative experiences putting it in before, because it like goes in uncomfortably and then you get shooting pains. You just have to rip it off, and then that's just a waste of a whole sensor. I've gotten so many that the clamps have been jammed, which is scary as well, because I'm pushing it in and I don't know whether it's my brain kind of not allowing me to do it forcefully enough so that it clamps in. But that's actually not the case. It's because it's jammed. So I'm like really whacking it in and it's just not going in. You're paying out so much money for this sensor. You want it to work, obviously. So I don't know, has that happened to anybody else that has been using it? But I've gotten so many faulty ones. And you can't get a faulty finger pricker, you know. So yeah, that's my third reason. Fourth is those stupid arrows alone. Oh, the arrows that come up beside your blood sugar reading. For me anyways, please let me know if this is just me, but they're 90% of the time inaccurate, and like dramatically inaccurate. They're not almost, they are dangerous. If it's up, it means your blood sugar level is rising really, really quickly, down the opposite. And it's just completely untrue. It's inevitable that when you see this dramatic arrow beside your sugar level, you're just going to panic. And if it's shooting up really high, you're just going to take insulin really quickly. And then it's next thing, it's like, it's not even rising. And now you just take an insulin. It's just so annoying, so frustrating. It goes back to the inaccuracy of it. And again, maybe it's me, maybe it doesn't work with me. I'd love to know if anybody else is having these issues, but it certainly cannot read my blood sugar level right anyways. I'm not just basing this off one, I'm basing this off about 6 months of using it. And my final reason is, again, probably one that will be disagreed with, but it's just too easy to check my sugar level. And I just have no chill. Like when I have it there and it's all you have to do is hold your phone up to it and it tells you your reading, I just do it about 50 to 60 times a day. I'm just always just kind of like checking. And it's just not healthy, because firstly, I'll check it and it'll say like 11, and then I'll take insulin, but I've forgotten. It was only about an hour ago since I've eaten and I have insulin on board. Things like that are just happening all the time. Whereas with the finger pricking, it's just a little bit more effort, which for me actually works well, because I do it, like I still check my blood sugars all the time, but a healthy amount, depending on like if I'm going to the gym or if I'm out, or, you know, but about 8 to 10 times a day or something like that. With the finger pricker, you know, I won't get kind of an inaccurate reading where the insulin hasn't kicked in yet or things like that, because I just have more chill. And also it just kind of stops it from being on my mind 24/7. Like I actually went out the last day and went shopping, and although I would never forget that I'm diabetic, a thing that I need to be responsible for and look after, but I was just able to go shopping for the whole morning, and just from not having the sensor on my arm, I wasn't thinking about my sugar levels until lunchtime came, where I was eating, and then I checked them and took my insulin, and I felt so peaceful just not thinking about it all the time. And it's just the fact that I can always kind of feel it there. It was always on my mind when I had the Freestyle Libre, which isn't healthy for me. As I said before, like I am a diabetic. I know I am. Something that's annoying, but I have, and I will look after, and I will be responsible for, definitely. But it's not ever something that I want to take over my life or my thoughts. Just as long as you're happy and you're healthy and you're taking care of yourself, for me, that's what matters. And that is what I'm able to do with finger pricking. Whereas with the Freestyle Libre, it's obsessive. A lot of people will probably highly disagree with all of this, But I wanted to record this rant just in case anyone else is thinking about getting it. Definitely try it and see if it works for you. But don't be fooled by all of the reviews that are so positive and raving about how good it is. If you feel like it's not working for you, you're not the only one. It doesn't work for me either. And don't make yourself use something like I did just because apparently it's really big advance in technology and so on and so forth. If you're happier with the good old fashioned finger prick, then stick at that. I hope this video has been helpful, and if it hasn't, I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant for about 15 minutes. So please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You can look at my website, www.naturallyfueled.com, which you can also subscribe to and sign up for the emails, and a Facebook page, Naturally Fueled. So there's lots to get me on if you're interested. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.